got the same steps as women to achieve beauty standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I challenged you on this one just to get you into the debate, just because I saw what you were typing in the earlier one I had with those two girls about ghosts. Now, I mean, if you want to talk about this too, we could talk about this too. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's never going to happen as far as when, because I think men understand that men are just not beautiful creatures per se. That's what I see it as.
Oh, I see.
So I almost ran.
Sorry.
What's that?
I almost ran down a jogger.
Oh boy.
Okay, yeah. So when was the exact moment that you gave up all hope?
Oh well, the exact moment. That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's a more of a. It's not that I gave up all hope. I think it's more of a. What's the word I'm looking for? An aggregation of all the things I see adding up. I don't think I gave up all hope. I think I'm just really super realistic.
Okay, so my philosophy is that there's a lot of theories that haven't been proven.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, there has to be possibilities that some things can exist and like some things are possible because those theories haven't been proven yet.
Right.
And so I like to hold on to that a little bit and say, okay, maybe there are some, so maybe those things are possible, and that I like to hold on to that hope, and maybe those girls did too. That's why they were saying that it's possible for ghosts to exist. We don't know.
And that's fun. That's one way to look at things. I have a when things are not proven one way or the other. I don't know if you've ever heard of Occam's razor. Have you ever heard of that before?
I've heard of it. I think maybe I saw you and somebody else talking about it. I'm not sure, but I've heard of it.
Maybe. The basic idea of it is when something isn't proven and there's no way to prove it in either direction, you go with what's the easiest, most logical explanation for it.
Okay.
And I like to follow that in most things that I have an opinion on. I usually will go with the easiest, most logical thing. And when it comes to ghosts, there's just no logic behind there being ghosts. The logic is firmly stacked against there being ghosts.
Okay.
And so that's just that's the way I see it. Now, does that mean I know for sure that there's no ghosts? No, but I'd bet a lot of money against it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. It's hard to believe that some people have this connection to, people who have died, and they can listen to them talking as if they're floating around,
Yeah.
I just don't see any real possibility for that. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So, so my mom thinks that whenever she sees her mom, who is dead, in a dream, something's going to happen.
Okay.
So whenever she has a dream, if her mom is in the dream and they've had a conversation in a dream, she thinks that like something's going to happen, that she needs to be aware of it, of like what's going on. So then she starts to be like more present in her surroundings and like what's going on in everybody's life and those sort of things. She'll call all of her sisters. She'll say, "Oh, are you okay? I had a dream about mom. Like, what's going on in your life?" And so she'll look for a meaning in those conversations. Is it a bad thing? No, because then she reconnects with her sisters and she has all these conversations. And so that might be her subconscious brain's way of making her. That's true.
That's exactly what it is. 100%
Yeah.
what it is.
So isn't like Einstein has this theory that like while you're sleeping, that's actually your opportunity to time travel or to do something like that's what they say that a feeling of deja vu is, right? It's while you're sleeping, you actually have the ability to transcend and like have these experiences, and then when it actually happens in real life, that sense of deja vu that you're having, it could be something that you've experienced while you were sleeping.
Right.
So I don't know. It could be, but if the worst thing that happens is that she then becomes more present in what's going on right now, and it allows her to reconnect with her sisters, what's the harm in that?
Oh, there's no harm in that, but I don't think that's the same thing as seeing a ghost. I see my father in my dreams who passed away from time to time, and we'll have a discussion or something crazy will happen, but then I don't take that as my dad literally talking to me through my dreams. I just take it as my brain, who grew up, with my father being there the whole time, remembers him, and it has to fill that void in some way. So he's always going to be there in your brain. You'll always have the memories, so they're always going to be able to manifest themselves in different ways. But that doesn't mean it's him through some freaky, medium style void in space where he's talking to me directly. That I find that extremely unlikely, especially because most of the things the people in your dreams say to you, at least in mine, are very cryptic and meaningless and nonsensical, and they have nothing to do with anything. And that's just because it's your brain just sort of spazzing out.
Yeah.
On the chemicals that it produces, it's just firing off, randomly almost. It's, anything could happen in a dream. I've had dreams about some really weird, random stuff that I would never think about off the top of my head, but that's because your brain's in sleep mode. It's not really operating in the right way, per se.
Yeah. So. No, yeah, and just to be clear, like I don't believe in ghosts.
Well, good.
Yeah, I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in maintaining some sort of hope in that there are theories that haven't been proven yet, and so I don't know,
you like the idea of those two girls having the lighthearted ability to really believe in something that you can't prove.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because I still let my daughter believe in Santa Claus, and I want her to hold on to that for as long as possible.
But see, you said something very important there. You let your daughter believe in Santa Claus, which is totally normal. But your daughter is a child.
Yeah.
Right. Child.
Yes.
Children, yes, the wonder of children is a beautiful thing. But once you hit adulthood, you're supposed to start to realize that these things aren't real or true. And that if you live in that world too long, you're going to start to, you'll be able to pass blame for anything onto people who have died, or ghosts, or, voodoo, or make-believe, whatever you want. It takes the responsibility off the liver of the life. And
not necessarily, because you need to believe in something sometimes that you can't see, that's not right there in front of you. You need to be able to see what's not easily attainable.
That's true.
You're right, but that's how goals are accomplished.
Yeah, to a degree, there's something to that, but I also think you have to be able to realize that ultimately you are the steerer of your own ship, so to say. But a lot of these people who think this stuff don't think that.
No, that's true. And if you're steered in the right direction, if you're guided in the right direction, you can say, okay, that's the path that I want to go on. I can't see it right now because I haven't experienced it, but I can eventually get there if I take the right steps or whatever.
Right.
So the opportunity to believe And that keeping that open mind, especially for children or especially for young people, is what allows them to be able to explore the world. Like if a young person says, you know, after college, I want to go backpack across Spain, or I want to go back. Oh no, you can't do that because this is, well, you can just go look at pictures and this is what you're going to see, so on and so forth. And there's nothing really there. Then you've just closed off their mind to all the possibilities of things that, you know, that what if they could see the world through a completely different set of eyes and they could have a whole bunch of different experiences. So I don't know.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that, but you know, there is a limit to that.
And I agree with that.
Yeah, and my limit is when you're seeing people walking around that aren't there, and you think that they are, then I think you've crossed that line. And that's what they were talking about. And they were also talking to me about people, you know, when they pass away, helping you from beyond the grave and all this. And and I had I was going to make a really good point to them, but I got cut off. My connection went bad. And my
Make sure you update the app.
What's that?
Make sure you update the app.
Yeah, I have to do that. Yeah. But my point was going to be to them that what happens when, let's say, what I was going to say, my father has passed away, and by their theory right now, he's helping me do all these things. He's helping things work out for me. Well, what happens when I pass away? Who does he help then? Does he just disappear? What happens then? Does he help me help somebody else? It's, you know, if you bring logic into the discussion, it breaks down all of that sort of thinking, because it doesn't really make any sense in that way.
So I thought it was interesting what you said, in that you believe that energy somehow has to be repurposed somehow, and that since we are all masses of energy, that somehow we get repurposed somehow, either in reincarnation or something else. So I'm going to keep hope open for that. Maybe we get reincarnated.
Absolutely. I think that's really a much more likely scenario than that we become ghosts in this weird non-physical form and float around talking to people. I think reincarnation is a definite possibility, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And it's a nice thought. The only scary thing about it is you don't get to remember everything.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. Unless you get deja vu experiences through your subconscious, and then you're like, oh, maybe I did do this before.
Yeah, well, I have deja vu, but it's always of me doing it already in the dream, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah, that is true.
But then again, maybe that's because my brain can only perceive it through, you know, its own eyes, the only way it's ever perceived anything. So
exactly,
it's hard to know the end of that. You know, that trail leads a long way in a lot of different directions. Yeah. But I do believe that the energy has to go somewhere. It can't just disappear.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because if energy was just dissipated when people passed away, when they died, then slowly but surely, all of the energy in the universe would be leaking away through us. And it would come a point where things would start to really slow down. Is it a crazy theory? But it would be true. Scientifically, it would make sense. You need the energy to keep the molecules moving. And if the energy is just disappearing person by person, things would begin to really slow down.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if it would be noticeable to us, especially because we only live a short lifetime, but there's been a lot of people who have lived and died on this earth. And if that much energy is leaving the system, just naturally.
We're creating new energy every time a new human is born.
Yeah, but see, I don't know about that. Are we creating new energy?
I mean, or are we just energy? Then aren't we creating new energy anytime a human is born?
Well, but I think that energy comes from the mother.
Yeah.
I think the more children a mother has, the less of her own energy she keeps, and the more the children get.
That is absolutely true because I'm working right now off of 4 hours sleep.
See?
I can attest to that.
Right.
I don't have that much energy.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, it's funny to think of it that way, but I really do think it's true. They take something out of you physically, not even just by being alive and running around and all that stuff. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I think you're literally, you have less constitution, you have less life force in you after a child is born. I really do believe that. And I know it's hard to prove something like that, but I do think it's true.
This topic is starting to depress me now.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? It's just a theory. Doesn't mean it's true. It's just a
No,
thought.
that's true. In this case, I choose not to believe it because now I'm getting even more tired as we speak.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I just think, like I said, I always like to go with logic or what science has proven.
Yeah.
And there's definitely never been any proof of any ghosts or anything like that. So until there is, I'm going to go ahead and say that there's none of them.
Yeah, so brain power definitely decreases during. I attest to that because I locked myself out of my house and out of my car multiple times.
Yeah, yeah. So that's going somewhere. It's not just going out to the space. It's going to the kid.
That is true. Vampires.
You know?
They are little mini vampires. That is very true.
Yeah. So.
No, so that's an interesting theory. If our energy has to go somewhere when we pass on.
Right.
Okay.
So that's just, my little theory on an alternative to ghosts.
Okay.
And as far as the mediums go, I hate those people.
No.
They make me so angry.
No, they're not real. They don't really.
No, they're not doing anything.
No, they figured out how to make money off of people's grief. At that point, people are willing to hear anything, believe anything, and find any level of comfort. And knowing, because you have a lot of questions after somebody dies, and so the mediums have just found a way to monetize it and take advantage of these poor people.
See, what I really wish I could get on one of those shows. And my father passed away just about a year ago, and I'm totally objective about it. It was terrible. He died much too young, but it happened. And now that I know it happened and he's not here anymore, it's tangible for me. I know he's not walking around.
Yeah.
The only time I've seen him since is in a dream.
Yeah.
So if they can come up to me cold without knowing anything about me, without watching this video and me explaining what happened.
Yeah.
If they come up to me and without any, of those flaky things that they do, if they just hit it right on the head right off the jump, then I'll say there's something to it. But I guarantee you that won't happen.
Okay.
And I guarantee they wouldn't even attempt to do it because they'll know that I'm a skeptic.
Yeah, they're probably gonna read your energy and say no.
Yeah. It's like, wait, nothing happened to you ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree.
But I would gladly offer myself up to any medium to try and read, what's going on in my family's history or whatnot. And I know that they won't be able to get it right because I'm not going to fall for their little tricks. Yeah.
You should. So what you should do is get one of those girls to audition for one of those shows and then do like a sneak attack on the medium and then see what they would do. That
would be interesting. I would love to defraud a medium on live television. That would really make me happy.
So Google Banachek.
Banachek. Now that one I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about there.
I don't know. Banachek is
interesting. I'm gonna have to Google it though.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go because I got to get on my GPS. So they're doing.
All right.
But
no,
all right.
So
yeah. Bye. Bye.
See ya.